Hello everybody, and welcome back from break. This is Dungeon of the Mad Mage, episode 103. When we left our party, they had defeated the dreaded Xanathar in a heated, ferocious battle, but they found themselves now surrounded by enemies, reinforcements, Xanathar operatives, and they needed to figure out how to extricate themselves from this situation. Ezrah formulated a plan, a plot, an idea to make two of the party invisible and then potentially teleport the other two out of the chamber, but a slew of changes, tweaks, oddities, interests has happened between the conception of that plan and the execution of that plan. We fade back into the scene just as Ezrah has cast greater invisibility upon Bones and Matashtai, and as he does that, the Xanathar thugs to the west, seeing that there are now only two enemies within the chamber, Ezrah and Ashes, they point and they shout, "There's only two of them! Get them!" And we are now at the top of the round. It is Bones. What do you want to do?
Hey, I want to, Everything's coming, so it doesn't sound like anyone was trying to get in over here anymore. Were they, like, trying to get in, or were they just, like, noises?
They were pounding
like,
on the door, right? At first,
yeah.
In the last turn, they were pounding on the door and making those murloc sounds, basically. But now there was that great shout coming up, and there seems to be combat on the east side.
Okay. I will take 1 second to quietly ask Matt. South or east?
Matt, are you typing an answer to him, or?
No, sorry, I was trolling Jake.
Sorry,
there's
a lot
Jake.
of chatting going on in the.
I've noticed. You guys are chatting a shit ton in
Yeah,
this
for
board.
once.
Do you want to run south or do you want to run east? Well, I don't know where south goes.
I mean, we could go east and snag up that pick for, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I go east.
No, it's my turn. Fuck off. What I'm asking you is which direction you want to try and leave.
He says east.
It's the only way we know where it goes.
Okay, that sounds exactly what I think as well. So I will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Bonus section dash, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will try and remove the pick. Okay. I have an action.
It's wedged in there pretty good, but it is easier to remove than it is to place.
Okay.
Roll me an athletics check. Your DC is 15.
Okay. Have you looked at my sheet? I'm just curious.
I have not looked at your sheet.
Okay, I don't understand how you keep picking DCs that I can just fail.
I'm decently good at math, and I understand your capabilities. I don't have a secret, here's Bones fail list.
This is the fail threshold.
That would be a really good idea, and I probably should do that, but I haven't done that. I'm just in tune enough to kind of guess things. Regardless, Bones, you roll fucking fantastic. You are
really
you
funny.
you are hyped up. You're full of adrenaline. You had a massive fucking fight. Bro. You just chopped a bunch of eye stalks off a fucking Xanathar. Dude,
I love chopping shit off shit.
Oh my god! You just grab it and you like set your foot and wrench, and the whole thing kind of like there's this crack as you actually like break out stone. The King's War Pick, the War Pick of Wounding, it doesn't like mar or scar or anything like that, but you take a chunk out of this fucking door, like popping it out basically. Door is still closed, mind you, but it is now unwedged.
All right, sick, bro. I mean, I can't open it for less than an action, right? I mean,
no,
sounds...
it would be like an item interaction to open a door.
Oh, okay. Well, I still
I'm just letting you know. I didn't want you to be like, oh shit, I didn't want to immediately open the door type scenario.
I guess I'll probably wait for Matt, right? Wait for him to teleport out.
Up to you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna just chill here.
War Pick is open or in your hand. The
hold on. How much movement did I have left? Nah, never mind. I'm good.
You can hear on the other side of this door, especially now that you're much closer, right? Like, oh shit, yeah, they're a big fight happening.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's the end of your turn.
That's in my
Ashes,
turn.
you're up. The crowd to the west has yelled out. They seem intent. They're gonna surge for. Basically, next turn they're getting added to the initiative tracker.
Decide to do nothing with my turn a second time.
Okay.
In turn.
Matashtai, you're up.
I move towards the door as well. I stand to the side, hugging the wall, should things come crashing out.
Okay. Ezrah, you're up.
I look at Ashes. In a hushed voice, I say, "Do you trust me?"
Do it.
In
And
all
I
seriousness, he says,
think
"Fuck
back
no."
to
Fucking
where
Aladdin
the-
and fucking Emperor Palpatine over here. Like, that's a mix of emotions.
where-
Both Disney.
I think back to where
Disney.
the entrance of the dungeon is. We haven't moved terribly far. And I cast Dimension Door and grab Ashes and teleport to the entrance.
Any other spot within range, you arrive at exactly the spot desired. It can be a place you can see, one you can visualize, or one you can describe by stating distance and direction, such as 200 feet straight downward or upward to the northwest at a 45-degree angle. Okay. You can bring along objects. You can bring along a creature of your size or smaller. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. If you would arrive in a place already occupied by an object or a creature, you and any creature traveling with you each take 46 more damage, and the spell fails to teleport you.
Don't do him like that, Jeremy. That's fucked up.
You arrive at exactly the spot desired. It can be a place that you can see. You can't see it. One you can visualize, which
I've been there before.
you can visualize, or one you can describe by stating the distance and direction. So if you knew the exact distance or direction, or had a good visualization of it, it would be perfectly fine. So I'm gonna say,
Want me to roll a?
I'm gonna let you roll. I'm gonna basically have this be a command of your arcane abilities, right? And it's going to be a relatively low DC because I don't think this should be super high, but there is I think a chance for you to fail this. So I'm going to say this is a level 4 spell or 3 spell,
Fourth
2
level.
spell, fourth level spell.
Level
So I'm going to
conjuration.
say it is a DC 14 Arcana check.
Wow.
And here we go.
Wow.
I don't know what to fucking say. This is.
Glad
That's
I drank
true.
all those potions.
I'm glad you did too. That is rough. That is unfortunate, but I think that is a fair shake. You both take 19 force damage.
That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, I rolled really well on that. That sucks.
That's the
Um,
mistake,
If I would have drinking
That would have
it would have killed me.
that would have almost killed me too. I am on death's door now.
Hey, welcome.
Concentration check.
Yep.
DC is 10.
Yeah, no.
You keep your concentration.
Oh my
You're fine there.
God.
All right.
Oh.
I was gonna say,
There's
we're
a
fucking
moment,
dead.
right? Ashes, you step forward. Ezra reaches out. There's an exchange. Do you trust
me?
Do it.
Ow!
And then there's just, you feel as if your body is being ripped apart. You actually feel your flesh, your muscles be pummeled, your internal organs squeeze.
Hey. I'm under half HP.
You are.
to
We'll
make a
get to
wisdom
that.
save on
We'll
my
get to
next.
that in a moment. we get to circle back around on Ezra's
Oh,
fear.
no, I'm about to kill Ezra, guys.
Please,
Ezra,
tell me.
it is still technically the end of your. It's still
gonna
your
go
turn. You
verify
have
what my
used
save
your
is.
action. You have lost concentration. You still have your
lost.
bonus action.
I have not lost concentration. I have
Oh, you
maintained
no,
lost
you
my
retain
concentration?
concentration. I'm sorry. No. You retain concentration. I was thinking of the worst case scenario. You have your bonus action and you have your movement left. Now that has failed, do you want to change things?
8 into 11.
I am going to shift and say,
Hide
Ashes, please
behind the
come to me.
corpse.
Ashes, please come to me, and I'm gonna kind of crouch.
Okay. All right. You all, Matashtai, Bones, you're both able to see as this happens, as Ezra casts. There's a brief kind of like schism, right? As both of Ash's and Ezra's form kind of like begin to morph and try to like disapparate. But then there's this kind of like roar of pain from both of them as the magic fails or goes awry, and they are just pummeled within an inch of their lives by the force that comes back.
Good.
What do you do, Bones? Oh,
Oh, it's
hold
fucking
up.
my turn again?
Before
Holy shit.
before you do anything, we actually
Wait, so
have to
you
do.
take the
We
damage,
gotta
but
we
don't
gotta do a
move,
number of
right?
things. We've got to do. Oh fuck! I've been avoiding this.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a lot of things.
Oh, sh-
Gonna wait until. Bones, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm on turn 2 of invisibility. But they might die. That's not great. This is not great.
Things went from being horrible to looking a lot better to going back to being a little sketch.
Hashtag sketch life.
I open the door.
Okay. You open the door to see a mass of Kuatoa
So many
fighting
people up there.
against a group of Waterdavian citizens. It looks like not citizens,
of them.
but mercenaries, armsmen, warriors, fighters. And amongst them, you see a slightly familiar individual. Not super familiar to you, though you have seen him about. More familiar to Matashtai, you see Halaster Silvermane, one of the main operatives for the Lord's Alliance, one of the main corroborators of Laeral Silverhand.
Damn it, it's not our boy fucking the Griffin Master.
It is
I
not.
forgot his name.
You don't even remember his name.
Mandius. It's because it's
Mandius,
been so
I will
long
never
since
forget
I
him.
was-
It is deserved,
The
man.
myth.
It is
It's
not
no
the man,
legend.
the myth, the legend.
It's been so long without our boy Mandius making an appearance.
And as the door
Mandius-
opens, right, there is a
Mandius
little bit of
Griffin.
attention that is given to the door from both the Kuatoa and the Lord's Alliance members, right? But seeing
Yeah.
no one there, that attention quickly deviates.
Alright, let's stab this fucking guy.
The guy right next to you is one of those.
Fucking super Kuatoas?
It's one of those big fuckers with the pincer stabs. All the rest of the Kuatoa seem like normal Kuatoa, but this one is one of those like beefier boys.
He's a beef
Do I
boy.
stab him or do I just fireball them all?
Oh, hell, Lord's Alliance, dude.
He's got a little bit of an angle. I mean, or he could just Lord flambe the Lord's Alliance. They'll never
don't
know.
do
Yeah, look, I could kill fucking definitely. Alright, I'll just stab this guy. It's fine.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I really want to fireball all of them, but I'm scared of what comes next.
What do you mean? You got more than one.
No,
fireball?
you're right. Fireball. No, I don't. This is my last fireball.
This is your last fireball?
Yeah,
Oh
I just got
no.
just gotta use it. Fucking- Oh well, now I don't want to do it. Now Jeremy's fucking warned me off.
No, you do whatever you want to do. You want to fireball him? Let's fireball him. Let's
I
go.
mean, I really do, but now I
Don't be a
don't.
bitch,
do it.
Jack.
Now Jacob's peer pressuring me, which makes me doubly not want to
Oh,
do it.
oh no.
What you want to do, Zach?
Where's Zach?
Now Jay's making comments too, because we peer
Yeah.
pressure him all the time.
Accurate.
You're right. I really want to just fireball. I fireball him.
Okay, you fireball them.
I can hit just.
You
the kill
have
total.
what do you have? You have clear vision on the ability to put it far enough back. Like the battle that is engaged is the battle lines are just being formed, right? So you're able to kind of like as they're rushing up, kind of like detonate in the middle of them, just in front of the Lord's Alliance members.
Fireball.
All right. Okay.
The DC 12, not 15.
Here we go. We're gonna go top to bottom, left to right. Or left to right, top to bottom. You know what I mean. These guys are on Whisper. Why are they on Whisper? Don't whisper. Public. Normal. Alright. Fail. Fail. Success.
Succeed.
Fail.
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 No, success.
Success. Okay. That kills this one. This one. This one. And this one instantaneously. And then the other two are horribly burned. And then the whip, who is also set to whisper. All right.
And the Nene.
The whip.
Seeds.
Seeds.
It's fine.
Okay.
Still 11 damage.
So there's this violent explosion, screams of agony and from the Kuatoa, screams of surprise, shouts of surprise and fear from the Lord's Alliance members, right? And then you hear Halaster kind of like yells out. He says, "Fear not! Something targets our enemies! Fight! Fight!" Anything else for your turn?
Okay, so that's my action. I would like to go 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20,
Yeah.
25.
Okay. What is your vision range? All right. You can see as you move there. You can see
Here or there?
upwards.
Okay.
You can see further eastward down this tunnel. You can see more
no.
creatures approaching. You see several of the dog puppy brains, the intellect devourers. and you see walking behind them, or not even walking, floating behind them, a purple-skinned, tentacled creature. They seem to be kind of like moving at a leisurely pace, though. They do not seem to be in any particular rush.
Okay. And then I will use my bonus action to dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I did move last turn, so I don't have cat dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Fuck. Okay. I will go in 5, 10, 15. And then I'm going to say, kind of quietly, to the one who looks different.
It's Halaster,
but I don't.
You're not super familiar with him, but you have seen him about.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Xanathar's dead. We're coming out. Fight backwards.
Okay, that's the end of your turn.
And then my last 10 feet to go over here.
Okay. There is a brief moment of confusion upon Halaster's face as he hears your words. He's no longer immediately having to defend himself because your fireball killed the Kuatoa that had engaged him. But you see almost immediately after your words, he steps forward and he shouts out so that you can hear, so that everyone can hear him, but realistically, like, the words make sense more directed at you, right? He shouts out, "Fight forward, men! Forward! We must save Eustace! He will be reclaimed!"
I don't know who that is, but whatever, man.
Who the fuck's Eustace? Oh, I bet you he's one of the... Oh no, he's probably one of the dudes in here. He's the one that gets us. Never mind.
Oh, no, he was probably one of the prisoners we released. Yeah?
I don't know.
What were all the prisoners we had? We
There
had
was the
orc
rich
dude,
bitch,
witch bitch,
sailor,
orc.
was it an orc?
I can't remember who the simple guy was.
It was an orc or an ogre.
We never got the name. There was the halfling, and hopefully that centaur wasn't him.
Look, he made his decision. I don't know what to say. I tried to help him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, they would have seen the corpse on the way here. They would know.
Ezra, you're a little far away. There's some combat happening in between here and there, and you don't have the greatest of perception.
Okay.
Roll me a perception check. DC 13.
Uh-oh. Nope.
Ezra does not hear. All right. Halaster moves forward, engages, and begins attacking one of the injured Kuatoa. Swings with a long sword. Also, all these people are fucking. They're because they're from a different. Okay. Misses and hits. Rolls pretty horribly. Basically, starts fighting against these Kuatoa. Alright. These guys can't make it to you, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. They all run into the chamber.
Fucking hell.
They're not dashing at you right? Because they're clearly wary, but they're all marching forward, weapons drawn, looking to engage you, Ashes, and Ezra. Although they can't see Ezra right now because he's hiding behind the corpse of the Xanathar. So there's that. These guys engage, and I don't want to roll for every single one of these. Between the 4 of them, they are able to slay the remaining 2 Kuatoa while taking minimal losses. But the whip is going to be a different matter entirely. Matashtai, you're up.
Jeremy, are
No,
you keeping
rock on.
track of the minute, the 10 rounds?
I am.
Okay.
So I picked up Tamacular, but I still have my bow out. I'm going to shoot this dude.
Oh, you're going to start firing into the back of the whip? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop a shot at him. Pop.
Yeah, that's a hit. Smacky. He takes an arrow in the back. This is one of those thick boys, though. Like, he's got a lot of health. You've engaged. You fought these guys before. When you fought versus Elune, when you fought versus the Kuatoa after Elune, etc. These guys are not pushovers. Another arrow in between the shoulder blades. This thing flails about with its pincer staff, spins around, trying to like smack whoever's there, right? But to no avail. Anything else?
I am then going to run up here. And I'm going to
Bones,
use Flurry
you
of
look
Blows.
back in a split second. You look back as the Lord's Alliance members descend upon the Kuatoa and begin to kill those that remain standing from your fireball. You see a few blats, like arrows, appear in the back of the Kuatoa whip. But in that aftermath, immediately after that, and I say this because of your great perception, you don't feel any invisible presence near you. You don't feel Matashtai come to your side or follow you into the open hallway.
I use Flurry of Blows, and I give a Hand of Healing to both Ezra and Ashes. Bop, bop.
You went back in?
Sure did.
He sure did. He
Do
sure as shit
either of
did.
you have bad effects on you?
No. Nope. Neither of them have status malices.
Okay.
Well. Oh, wait, is it
Oh shit.
that I can? Well, I guess that makes sense to me.
Okay. Anything else for your turn, Matashtai?
I don't think I can do anything else.
Ashes. You're under half HP.
I roll. My DC is 11. I fail.
That's pretty unfortunate.
Unfortunately, I believe that I cannot see Matt.
You cannot.
And as he cannot see, he cannot attack.
Is Ezra technically next to him? I don't know how that...
Nope, I moved away.
Directly towards the
Okay.
nearest creature to you.
Yeah,
and
he
the
gets to
attack-
move, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he'd move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you move directly towards the nearest creature to you and use the attack action against that creature. You choose whether or not to use your extra attack. So, you would in theory move towards Ezra.
Do it to it.
Unfortunately, You do have to spend the movement to go around Matashtai, because as you move forward initially, rage in your eyes, you are blocked by something.
Yeah.
So you have to go around.
I mean, that's,
I'm just like, stop!
Oh,
No.
such
Don't
an
do it.
inconvenience.
Well, you know.
all I remember is being asked, "Do you trust me?" and then being really hurt. Now all I see is red. I'm like, I trusted you.
Oh my god, that feels so real. Holy shit.
I was
Wow.
trying to build trust. And I got
Oh no.
Ashes is the one who. Oh my!
I can't shield that. I can't shield that. Thank you for the heal, cause that
One
leaves me at
HP
one.
left.
That
One
leaves me
HP
at
left.
One. Thank you for that, man.
My goodness. Make a concentration check.
Please don't fail this.
Isn't he a
Oh
warcaster?
my god.
Oh.
He's good.
Okay.
He's
Oh
fine.
no. Oh, no. That would have just been a chain.
That would have been
if
hilarious.
I did one more HP, he would have dropped, so would have invincibility. Oh, that could have been so much worse.
It truly could have.
I'm very glad I went back to heal now.
Oh,
I forgot
okey-dokey.
about your fucking below health hit thing. I was just trying to help you guys.
Right? Like, holy shit. Okay. That is the end of that turn. All of these guys have gone. Ezra, you are healed, and then a moment later, Ashes is on top of you, ripping your flesh to shreds, screaming, I trusted you! Just spittle flinging from his open maw. What do you do?
Using my last 4th level spell,
Oh shit.
I say, give me another chance. Please don't kill me. Please. And I cast it again.
Oh, no. All right. Same applies.
I
Arcana
will
check.
probably survive.
DC 14.
How does a 24 work?
All right.
Jesus
So you
Christ.
wanted to? Did you want to go straight to that exit?
To the exit. We're getting the fuck out.
All right. You. Let me double check real quick. I'm
It's
pretty
300
sure.
feet. It's a 500-foot spell.
Yeah, I'm
so
pretty
it's
sure you
300
got
feet.
plenty
Yeah.
of space. Yeah.
I checked that several times while
yeah,
you were
yeah,
doing your thing to
You
make sure
are
I was
good.
nothing ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you want, you rolled correctly. So if you want, you can either take the 300 feet here, or you can take the 200 feet to the east down that fucking long-ass egress.
We would go the distance because I told them we're leaving. Get out.
I
Alright.
can go the distance.
No way.
I told them that's what I told them, so that's what we're doing. Please don't
All
kill
right.
me, Ashes. We're
You guys are-
together by ourselves. Please
Oh
don't kill me.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the scenario. Is you're now alone with Ashes. There are no other targets right now. Okay.
Oh, and you used all of your healing potions.
Yeah, if I take damage, I'm gonna have to roll again.
The whip.
Oh, it only happens when you take damage?
Yeah, if I
Oh,
take
okay.
damage and am below, so it's and the DC is really low. It's a really like
It
But didn't
says
you guys
if you
teleport, like,
begin
really far
your
away?
turn with no more than half of your maximum hit points. Or did we change that?
Don't you heal every turn too?
you begin your turn with no more than half your maximum hit points. Yeah.
Yes, you do heal every turn because you're
Oh,
at
yeah,
that level.
You do
I
heal,
do.
but
It's
it's not
been so
it's
long
not going to be
completely
enough
forgot about
to get past the point, but you should remember that.
Take the goddamn healing points, motherfucker.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So-
I even put it up higher.
So you
I
could
note that.
remember. Hell
1
yeah.
plus con.
All right, this whip steps forward to engage Halaster, swings a pincer staff at him, tries to bite him, is unable to. Halaster is he's not a big man, but he's kind of like this tall, lanky man, and he's outfitted as a warrior, and he seems to present himself and fight as an accomplished fighter. He's not a simple pushover. He knows what he's doing. So he defends himself well against the Kuatoa whip, and we are back to the top of the turn. Bones, you can see that party to the east, the party that as you move past, you can see Nihalor is leading. Well, not he's leading from the back, but leading. It is moving slowly towards you. What do you want to do? When I say that, it is moving slowly towards you, and some of the Lord's Alliance members have seen it, and some of them are looking to try to engage this whip and finish it off, and others are looking to try to steel themselves for this new potential onslaught, following Halaster's commands.
I'm gonna waste like a little bit of movement to go down and see if I can see in the room. I'm pretty sure that's where they were. I don't see them. What did I say? 5, 10.
Not see them.
15. I can't go into the spot with the fucking thing. 15. I don't see him. The pillar.
Oh, gotcha.
That I've. Okay. Well, okay. All right. I don't see him. So I've wasted 15. So I assume they're gone. I will use my 15 to come back up here.
Okay.
I will use my action to attack the whip. I will throw a regular dag.
Oh, okay.
That is this button.
Regular OD.
28 plus snake, 30 damage.
Takes him in the throat, and he gurgles, but he then rips it out of his throat, and blood just kind of like gushes, and he's not dead yet.
That is impressive.
But he's severely wounded after that.
Okay, and then I'm gonna shout at the idiot. I'm gonna say, I don't know who that is, idiot, but it's time to leave. And then I am going to bonus action to dash, and then I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay. You hear immediately afterwards, right? He says, "We cannot abandon a comrade! Come!" And he swings on the whip, engages him, or is engaged with him. And as he does, his blade flashes a kind of like amber hue. And he cuts the whip down. And immediately after, he says, "Rosamunda, prepare the powder!" And you see one of the members pull out a pouch. And then they all kind of like gather up together.
Yeah, right.
Matashtai, you're up. Matashtai, you hear shouting from all of the thugs. You hear what? Where'd they go? Get in there! Get them! They gotta be somewhere! Just swing at the air!
Solid reasoning.
You are muted, kind sir.
Oh, sorry. So I went 50, and then I'm dashing, so 15 more. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
There's the end of my turn.
Looking back, not really realizing that you guys are actually quite close to each other now, but you're both kind of like looking back at the action as you're retreating. You see this Lord's Alliance group fell the last of the Kuatoa. Many members are facing towards the east, their blades drawn at the ready to engage. And a few of them are looking back to the west towards the open chamber where the Xanathar agents are flooding into the space. And you both hear that call out from Halaster Silvermane. You hear him shout for Rosamunda to prepare the powder. And then all of a sudden, this woman amongst the group raises this pouch high, unfurls it, and just scatters this dust in the air.
Christ, if he makes me visible.
And then all of the Lord's Alliance members disappear.
Alright, that's sick. Maybe he's not as stupid as I thought he was.
They all just vanish from your sight. In this moment, should Bones and Matashtai choose to retreat with regard to naught else, they will find themselves unopposed. But it is not they who now is in the greatest danger. As we swap back to Ezrah and Ashes, and as soon as you two land, you find yourself, you're not even quite all the way out of the hidden tunnel that led you into the Xanathar's lair, but you're pretty close, right? You're only about another 50 to 100 feet eastward before you kind of like make it to that hidden entrance. But as the magic of the dimension door deposits you both into the rough-hewn tunnel, Ezrah, you find yourself alone next to Ashes in his were form, your blood already on his claws, rage in his eyes. Ashes, in your mind, here, you have to control yourself. I didn't sign on for some raging pup. Be better than this. Roll your saving throw.
Before I do that,
He didn't take
plus
damage.
3 HP from Lycan regeneration.
It doesn't matter.
So now
It's not that he has to take damage. It's if he's below half HP.
Yeah. Yep. I went and reread it. And that's the way it works. So now I'm at 22 of 92 HP. All I have to do is
Getting closer.
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And I will save. 11 is the DC. That is a meets it beats it.
Yeah, Ezra's not dead.
I heed Zalara's voice. And
That's at the start of your turn, right?
That's
the heal?
Damn it.
No,
The
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 roll.
save?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You hear as soon as you're frothing at your mouth, you can see your like sight is Ezra's jugular, right? And you hear that voice, and it's a calm in your mind, and it breaks. You fight through, and immediately as you resist that voice, 10 times louder in your mind, go, run now! to you.
Run.
Basically, like, calling for you to get the fuck away from Ezrah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure. I'll leave the dungeon.
All right. Ezrah.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No. I use my action to just end my Lycan form. I can just end it.
Oh yeah, you can, can't you?
I'm just gonna
that's
end my
less fun.
hybrid transformation.
That's significantly.
lots of fun.
That's smarter.
Yeah.
That's way smarter, but that's significantly less
Yeah,
fun.
it's
That's
absolutely
good.
love the
That's absolutely
situation,
good.
But I can just end
No,
it.
that's good. That's good. That's good.
Well played, Jay. This is why you're my favorite.
Nope, that's absolutely good. Very good.
Ooh.
No, not boo, not boo. That is mechanically sound and very good. I'm happy for that.
Whoa.
There is a moment right as Ash's Ezra, you see this clarity in Ash's in his eyes, and he turns and he just bounds like 10, 15 feet down the hallway in a split second, like he's just gonna run the length of a football field, right? And then he just kind of like screeches to a halt, stands up straight, and you see the fur just begin to kind of like fall away from him
Away.
as he
Yep.
ends the
I'll just
transformation.
say that, like, after Zalara's calming words, that's when
Covered in necrotic wounds and cuts and stabs and just beat to shit and back, like entire sections, like his right shoulder that looks like it's uneven, like it's been splintered and realigned from like the force damage on his body, right? Just this jumbled mess, seemingly looking like he in Lycan form, just this terror, right? This hulking, terrifying form. In tiefling form, still a muscular man, but broken to all shit and back.
and I'll just like collapse on the floor. I'll look up. So sorry, Ezra, and I'll like jerk a head back and be like, "Thank you, Zalara."
Did it yourself. Yep.
Yay, we killed Xanathar.
Ezra and Ashes. You have a few moments of solitude to you as you wait eagerly for the arrival of your allies.
Would you care to share any of your healing potions with the 1 HP sorcerer?
1 HP
I-
sorcerer.
Have zero.
Goose
Alright,
egg.
I don't know.
Holy shit.
I drank them all.
That had ended up being a thing. It is about the time at or pretty close as you feel your magic waning, Ezra, as you hear from
I'm
Matashtai.
extremely silenced.
I
Okay,
said
sorry.
from Matashtai, not from
I didn't
Bones.
give you a chance. That's
You
on
didn't
me.
give me a chance to alliterate your stealthiness.
Okay, that's on me. I recognize that.
As you hear the pitter-patter of footsteps.
Do I really
and-
hear them from these motherfuckers?
And around about that time, either you hear them approaching, or as they are approaching, the spell ends, right?
And I get scared because there's something right
yeah,
there.
yeah. Suddenly there's a bones and a Matashtai. Absolutely. And you guys are reunited on the outskirts of the Xanathar's secret lair. The Xanathar defeated, slain in battle. The Xanathar's major domo defeated. But 2 of the Xanathar's lieutenants still alive. Still
3 of them.
2 of them. The Amerigo is one of the lieutenants. It
What's the
counts as a
4?
lieutenant. No, there are only 3, I believe. Well, there I might have said 4. There are 3 that
Amerigo,
matter.
Nazca, the Drow Mage, and the Mind Flayer.
The Drow Mage only matters to a point.
Okay.
My bad.
Gotcha.
So,
There's a Drow Mage?
Yes.
you guys never even got involved with that one.
It's like I
No, we
paid
skipped
attention
everything
and gave me
because
information.
Jake was like, well, let's just go in this door. I was okay.
Yeah, hey, you're the one who guessed it was the right door. You were like, I'm pretty sure Xanathar's in there.
It was round.
Around.
Which is
Fucking
hilarious.
Fucking
Oh,
cats.
That's
Jesus
cat logic.
that is cat logic. That is absolutely cat logic.
Christ. Yep.
You reunite, battered, broken, bloodied, but victorious. The head of the proverbial snake slain, the Xanathar Guild defeated, if only just. Who is to say what will become of the remnants that you left behind, the power vacuum that you have created?
Oh god, we just
Who
created
is to say
Afghanistan.
what happens to the Lord's Alliance members, to Halaster Silvermane that you have abandoned?
He didn't see them, so it doesn't matter.
Fair.
They were invisible.
Fair. But those are all questions that we will answer at a different time. I absolutely would just end this fucking episode here, but we've got another like 40 minutes to play, so let us experience the aftermath of the Legion's attack upon the Xanathar Guild. You guys find yourself at the end of this secret tunnel, broken, bloodied, in pain,
I feel pretty good.
Ow.
except for bones. What is your next course of action?
We make our way back to the Legion. We're
After
the
done.
whole-
that,
hey-
Halaster like pieced out with the dust thing.
I don't know who that is, so
What
I
was your
misunderstood
question,
what was
Matashtai?
I was just saying that I feel bad. I think I misunderstood what happened. I thought he used dust of like invisibility to get away.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think he went invisible to go and look for his friend.
He
but-
went invisible. You have no idea why or where or what.
Okay.
You guys ran.
Oh, you like the way you described it before. You made it sound like they were fighting to the death, and we were like, "Nah, peace."
No, not yet.
Okay.
that's the Lord's Alliance. They do what they do.
They do
Look,
what you do. Don't try to change. Anyways, sorry.
I didn't just leave. I said something to him.
So, you find yourselves at the entrance to the Xanathar's secret lair.
Ezra and I have kind of been outside the map for a while now.
Yeah. We're actually gonna like pull you. I'll pull you guys to a different. We'll go back to start because we don't have a good.
Can we
location for
just not be in the center of a major thoroughfare and
Sure.
draw any sort of attention?
this. You guys
I
are
would
Oh, I
fine.
suppose.
honestly, I would immediately probably pop a dome and make it look like there's a boulder in front of whatever passage we're
So you
in.
guys do know that the route back to the Legion's territory is secure. You were led
okay.
to the entrance of this secret tunnel, basically, to the Xanathar's lair. You were led there by agents, legionnaires, and the route that you took to get there was controlled by the Legion. You have very little to fear as far as making your way back to Azrok's hold goes.
Yeah, let's go back to the hold. Fuck that. We don't need a boulder thing.
Yep.
To
No,
the
It is,
whole-
it is
with that
about
information.
2 to 3 hours worth of travel, but it is through allied territory, basically.
That's good. We do that.
All right. Ooh.
We
Okay.
survived. How the fuck did we survive?
That's a
Well,
great
here's the
question.
thing. I kind of
not real
expected
sure.
you guys to go in and just, like, blow things down. But then that first fight with Amerigo did not go super hot, and the fight with the Xanathar also did not go. You guys had
We rolled
really
very
bad
poorly.
rolling luck.
We rolled
Really
very
bad.
poorly.
Yeah,
About
well, when
the-
75% of your party is afflicted by something every turn. I mean,
Well,
you
that was
know.
the thing, is you guys, a lot of those things you normally would have resisted. But, damn.
Well,
Yeah,
Ezra's not
God
built
damn.
to battle the resistances of what beholders throw, so
Very
there's
true.
also that. He
Alright.
doesn't know that. I know that.
You find your way back over the course of the next few hours to the Legion's fortifications in the western Stromkolder ruins, Azrok's hold. As you arrive, you find pickets, right? Or not pickets, but guard stations. You're immediately identified, you're waved through, and you see...
Ezra at the first picket would call out that there was Lord's Alliance involvement just for...
You share the information, and
Yeah.
it is notated and spread should it be important
Pertinent.
or useful. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
The Legion will be aware as far as they can be at this current point in time.
Yep.
You find, passing this first location, as you enter into Azrok's hold, a hub of activity. Triage
activity.
centers set up. Multitudes of wounded. And a few rows of the dead
East.
already being piled up.
It's worth it.
Some of the conflicts seemed to have gone very favorably for the Legion. The multitude of attacks on various bolt holes, safe houses, hidden locales of the Xanathar. Some seem to have gone quite poorly. Regardless, there is an air of determination and purpose amongst the legionnaires of the hold. Each face you meet is not marked by sorrow or pain, even the wounded. It is marked by grim determination and duty. The hobgoblins of the Legion are nothing if not disciplined. The various groups of goblins and bugbears you pass, the auxiliaries of the Legion, less so. The maimed and mutilated, the dead, they matter, and there are dirges sung, there are cries of pain, weeping of survivors. It is the aftermath of many battles. Almost more than you anticipated. There is a sudden realization to the vast scope that is the Legion itself and the territory that it can reach. And you realize, maybe some of you have been realizing this for a while, but you are working hand in hand with a force, a faction that has its own goals, its own plans, its own motives that do not necessarily align with the city of Waterdeep.
And, of course,
And while you see there are a great many wounded and many deceased, The air amongst the western Stromkolder ruin, amongst Azrok's hold, is one of victory. Especially upon seeing you all.
Hey, Jeremy, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to make a big show here in a minute. So as we were traveling 2 hours to ourselves, I'd like to have removed the rings from the eye stalks.
Okay. So
I still want
you
the
just
eye
want them.
stalks.
You just okay, gotcha. So you have 3 eye stalks and 3 rings.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do they warp down to smaller size?
The eye stalks,
Those things gonna
amusingly
be
enough,
like-
are about finger width. Some of them
so
are
a lot
fatter.
thinner than I thought
Some
they
of them
were.
are fatter fingers, right? Like maybe
Damn,
your
fat
thumb. But
fingers.
Like, I envisioned like arm size.
So did
no, oh no. They're not like wrist size. Well, again, some of the thicker ones
Come on,
might
give
be
us
closer to
bangles to
that.
wear. Jeremy, damn.
Regardless, yes, the magical rings do resize to fit all. Depending on where you put them, mind you.
Giggity.
Oh,
Nuts.
They can only resize so much, mind you. So, as you all, regardless of what you try to do, there is no hiding it. You are alive. You are victorious. But you limp back into the Legion's territory. Shut up, Zach, not you. The group as a whole, damn it.
the group as a whole, I'll give you.
I'm just gonna
For sure.
focus fire you next time, damn it. My god, just to
That would
avoid
stop
this.
these comments.
Oh, he's super passed out. Oh my god, he's so conked. The Legion sees this, but they see in this the march of victorious soldiers, representatives of the host, the hand, the point of the spear, returned, alive, not with dour expressions, not hidden faces, and thus clearly victorious. There are no great shouts that rise up through the city streets of Stromkolder, but every legionnaire that you pass stops, stares, salutes or nods, lines ahead. You pass back through their territory. What is your ultimate destination?
Dude, I want to make a big show. I want to
Bed.
go to the... No, fuck that. I want to make a big ass show.
Bed.
I want to go to the command center, bro.
Alright. You march through Azrok's hold, through the triage areas and the outposts, the command posts, the messenger tents, through the wounded and dead, through the living. Make your way back to Azrok's feast hall, his throne. A throne that sits empty, as the Legion commander has yet
Feel the
to
battle.
return from the assault upon Skull Isle. But there
Damn, he
are...
went himself? What a badass.
Absolutely, he went himself. He leads the Legion from the front lines. Now that he is restored to his full vigor.
Bro, he was Commando 1.
Yeah, probably. First off the boat.
First off the boat, first up the rope.
As you arrive, though, the hall is not empty.
More wine. More wine.
Thank you very much for the bits, and thank you very much for... It is full of captains, messengers, and a few wounded. those feast tables that you have seen so many times, now impromptu surgery tables. The Legion working in dire efficiency, ready to sacrifice, to save, do what it needs to do. You arrive, and at this current point in time, it seems as if things have died down for the most part. What wounded there are here are no longer on death's door, and the captains and commanders that are here are resting, having been pushed to the brink by their battles, their travels, etc. Bones, as the party enters into this place, all eyes are on all. You have every Legionnaire's attention.
Damn, kind of feels fucked up to do this without Ezrah here.
If you want to wait, you are more than welcome to wait to while away the hours and see what the result is.
Yeah, he right. I'll just be like, hey guys.
I kind of pull Bones aside because I know he's the face with the Legion. Maybe we huddle up in our quarters and they can send word when he arrives, and we can.
Or we start partying.
That didn't seem right.
Like we need to reconsolidate ourselves before we party.
Feels like he should be the first one. All right, okay. Since everyone's watching, I will. I'll be super serial. I'll be like,
Rolvik is one of the people that is actually here.
Him in his.
Rolvik, was he one of the ones of the opposing faction?
No, Rolvik was the nice one.
He's
He's guillotine room man.
Yeah,
Rolvik is basically the third in command. It basically goes Azrock,
Okay.
Lurkana, Rolvik.
Got it.
Now, technically, all of Azrock's commanders are of the same rank, but Rolvik is one of the ones that you guys have dealt with on an amicable basis frequently.
He's our boy.
So he steps forward, wounded. You see his right eye. There's a cut into it. It's still moving, and he still seems to have vision out of it, but there's a visual slash through the side of it and across part of his face, and then he's just covered in wounds.
Yeah, you should have Matt look at that. Hey, yeah, we return.
So you do. It's good. We have many victories. Few defeats.
When is the commander expected back?
We do not know. Messengers are difficult to utilize due to the fact of it being so far downriver and any other alternative egress from through Skullport itself. We do not expect word ahead of
the arrival.
Their arrival or their corpses.
Sure. Okay, well. Feels odd to make an announcement before Ezrah gets here.
Keep us posted. Maybe either way, send word our way before it gets to the greater...
Rest. You clearly had a busy time.
It was stronger than we expected, but
But you stand.
Yep.
Which
Man,
means
no longer.
which means the enemy falls.
It was. Yes. It
No,
is dead.
we didn't say anything. We're not saying that.
It is dead.
Rolvik smiles and he kind of like holds up a hand and he says, "I understand. You need not wait for word. The fanfare will announce arrival, or the dirge will announce it as well.
That's true. Okay.
Our hopes are for the best.
Seek your rest.
Thank you, as always.
Oh, we seek it.
You head out of the feed hall, just a little ways west and north to the quarters that had been provided to you originally. The very first time that you arrived in the Western Stromkolder ruins, actually. This boy is so loud, you guys cannot hear it, but he's basically
He's
like
snoring?
over here. He's just going. He's so
Arthur just
like.
started snoring 2 days ago.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
god, Odie, wake up! You can't
Let
breathe.
him sleep.
You need a
Let
CPAP
him-
machine.
Get him a sleep apnea appointment. Do it now.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
so
get him-
You know,
comfortable.
what he needs is he needs
Get
a
him signed
diet.
up.
He needs
So
a
here's
diet.
the thing. It's not the snoring that's the apnea. It's the
It's
stopping
not
of
breathing.
stop breathing.
Yeah.
Great.
It's when you stop
Problem.
breathing.
You head back to your chambers.
I head back to my chambers.
Broken, weary, worn.
Super fine.
Except for Bones. And rest. There's a knock on your door a few minutes after you arrive, asking if you need any provisions, need any bandages, if you need any hot water, if you need food or drink brought to you, etc. Right? Your
I will-
needs and wants are provided for.
Super
I
good.
will acknowledge the individual that is approaching and explain only you can come after this point, as I will then put
You,
up a
you
dome.
put up the dome. Yeah. Well, I mean,
and
so
take
you,
that
the
may-
the space that you are in is slightly large enough to encompass the dome, but also have space outside of the dome, but still in the room, right?
I would still
So
try and
even
make that.
yeah, even if that scenario arose, you could still confer with the people and be like, "Hey, you can set stuff
Worst-
here or meet us at the door," that type of thing.
Worst case scenario, we can
Absolutely.
accommodate, but please keep it to this because that's easier
100%.
for us.
Your needs are seen to over the course of the next several hours. You gain the benefits
My
of a short
needs
rest.
are silence.
Of a short rest.
Of a
Okay.
short rest.
Yeah, I don't really
Oh,
have
okay.
needs.
Yeah,
I think I'd
it's
like
not
to.
the yeah. You guys have not reached the point of a long rest. I'm going to assume that the plan is to long rest unless you get interrupted by the arrival of news. That was my assumption.
Yeah, I think I would like to pull a Matthew, and because like I'm not really hurt, like I'd like to just like kind of be out there, showing my face, helping out,
Yeah.
doing whatever, being like, because it's like a very morale booster. You said that we're back,
Absolutely, it is.
and I'm Bones. I'm leader of the Skull Takers. Like I like to, I'd like to be out there.
You get to the point pretty shortly. So you head back with everyone else to the room that you were provided, and then as they are getting set up, you take a few moments for yourself, and then you head back out. Right? You let everyone know, hey, I'm gonna go out, and then you head back out. The first couple of places that you arrive, there is a moment of recognition and an air of realization, right? Even though you're not saying it, you're not letting it slip.
That's
You're not
right. I'm not
announcing
saying it,
victory,
but
right?
we're
But
saying
people see you and they see again, right? Not a head hung low, but a face here, ready, helping, able. And it matters. It matters that you are so hale and hearty. right? It would be a different thing if you were riddled with wounds like your allies are. So for whatever it is worth, yeah, Jay over there, for whatever it is worth, the fact that Bones is the one that came out relatively unscathed, it matters in this moment because Bones is the one walking the hold, showing the strength to the Legion. But almost, keep in mind, not just to the Legion, but of the Legion. With Azrok's proclamation as honorary members of the Legion, there is a different connotation, a different connection with who and what and how you have performed. And it matters. Bones, you see spirits uplifted just by your presence. And you're able to assist here or there with specific endeavors. But for the most part, right, like the Legion runs as a very efficient system. You are, if you try to interject yourself more often than not, you are more in the way with their systems than you are helping. You are helping by being a beacon of morale and a show of victory, especially as an hour passes, another hour passes, and another hour passes, and still no more word comes of Azrok, the assault on Skull Isle. As the evening begins to grow late, because keep in mind, you guys attacked originally kind of like mid-afternoon. As the evening begins to grow late on the 10th, and there is still no word from Skull Isle, Bones, you begin to see, as you all first arrived, there was a flurry of activity. There was so much going on, as many different groups were arriving around the same time as you were. The vast majority of that has died down. Most of the groups that were sent out have arrived, or word has arrived that they will not return. But there still no word from Azrok, from Lurkana, from the assault on Skull Isle.
Where's their son?
Oh no.
Bones, is there anything else that you try to do as the scene begins to grow long? The rest of you've been resting for several hours at this point, probably about halfway through a long rest.
No, I guess not. Not yet.
Ezrah, Matashtai. An hour since you arrived back Legion's territory. Hours since you put up the dome. Hours since you rested and bound your wounds. Eaten. Come to terms with what you've experienced. With the proximity to death. And to the pain, the tragedy around you. But also the victory. The accomplishments of war. And even past that, another hour. And another. And Ezrah, Matashtai, you two specifically, as having been major parts of the planning of what happened, what was to happen with the assault on Skull Isle. It is almost involuntary that you begin to think back to the advice you gave, the suggestions that you proffered, the items that you set forward, the magic that you cast or made available to the Legion. Questioning, doubting, was it enough? Bones, after several hours, arrives back at the door, having visited virtually every place within the Legion's territory. Arrives back. And he opens the door. Ashes, Ezrah, Matashtai, you see him silhouetted there.
He doesn't see us because the dome's opaque.
And you hear a fanfare of trumpets.
Oh, thank fucking God. Jesus Christ.
What do you guys do?
What were we, me and Tash, aware of what Azrok's plan was for him and his contingent while we were doing our...
You were very involved in a lot of hypothetical planning. But a lot of that planning went very, very late into the night. And you are not 100% on all of the exact details that were going to happen, right? There were several plans in kind of like order of execution, devolving into themselves of like, exactly, 100%, right? But during none of it, you realize now that you think back of it, during none of it did anyone come out and discuss, and it seems obvious now, but no one said anything about who was going to be leading the attack on Skull Isle. Because to the Legion, there was no discussion of who was going to be leading the attack on Skull Isle. You all were to be the tip of the spear against the Xanathar. Which means that there was only one other person to lead the attack on Skull Isle.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Ezra failed to acknowledge that logical step.
So, Bones arrives. You all hear the fanfare. What do you do?
I turn to Bones. Please go confirm.
I'm gonna go with Bones.
Alright then. Showtime.
I don't need to be there for the fanfare. I don't need to be a spotlight. That's not Ezra's place.
Ezra is ever the practical and somewhat fearful and concerned. So Ezra decides, alright, look, we won, and it sounds like they won. I'm gonna keep resting just in case. Ashes, what about you? Matashtai gets up, walks out of the dome, joins Bones. Are you staying with Ezra, or are you heading with Bones and Matashtai?
No, I want to see what's up. If there seems like there's something that might be amiss, I'd rather be aware of it.
Sure. Sounds like a plan. Ezrah continues resting, assured, or if not assured, understanding that there is nothing that he can do now to change the outcome of the battle upon Skull Isle. The rest of you make your way southeast towards the obvious destination, towards the Fest Hall, towards Azrok's seat of power. And the fanfare does not let you down. It gets louder as you approach, as it approaches. And the streets of the western Stromkolder ruins begin to fill with legionnaires, with auxiliaries, with almost a rare sight for you, with the common folk. Something that you do not see a lot of in Azrok's hold. But of course, there are servants or craftsmen or farmers or individuals that are not the legionnaires. They're so quiet, so kept out of these societies, so out of these spaces that you all have been invested in. But now they lion, they pack these streets. As the contingent that assaulted Skull Isle begins to arrive, pressing through the crowd. It is ever so small, a mere handful of individuals. A few legionnaires at its head, pressing through the crowd, trying to part, make way for those that follow. And of those that follow, at its head, Azrok. Limping and shouldering Lorcana.
She alive?
Like over his shoulder or like
Over his shoulder. Both alive.
Oh, hell yeah.
You all realize, perhaps a bit more perceptively, perhaps a bit more because you know
What just went down?
things. You know everything. You know things that many just suspect about Azrok and who and what he is and what his power is. The way that Azrok is shouldering Lorcana is oddly suspicious.
Oh, the boy lost his damn dagger.
It does no. He doesn't seem
okay.
he doesn't seem disoriented.
Okay.
Dagger Quest
Covering his
to
face
Electric
so
Boogaloo.
he can't see where he's
No. It's not that. It's he is visibly limping, but as he limps, he is under the shoulder of Lorcana like he is shouldering her weight. But you all realize that the way she steps, she's half carrying him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, okay. So they're
It
like
just-
this and this, not
It
just
looks yeah, no, it's not like over the shoulder. It's like
Okay.
under the shoulder, right? Like it looks as if he is shouldering her burden, like she is seriously
he's
wounded
carrying
and
him.
limping next to him.
Yep.
But in reality, you all kind of like more trained, more apparent, more aware of what the the dynamic between the two is. you realize, and it's partially because she has a hand on his breastplate, basically, that she's holding him up as they walk forward.
That image, it's important.
She's boss.
Behind them, walking casually, with two very rotten, a very large gap, mind you, between Lurkana and Azrak and this next figure, and anybody behind them, and the crowd around, is the strange, discombobulated, malformed figure of the Preta Kripa, followed by two horribly mutilated, horribly disfigured and rotted drow zombies that are just shuffling behind her.
Creeper helped out, huh?
Behind the Preta is a scant handful. 5 legionnaires. Rounding out
understandable.
the contingent.
Jeez.
A contingent that, if Ezra remembers correctly, from the morning of casting water breathing on people,
Water breathing.
was more than 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And there's now sub 10 arriving back.
Well, we can't all
they
be
got
us.
destroyed.
They killed many more in their stead.
We don't know that.
We do.
They could have got
As-
fucked up by those cannons.
As you come
I
back,
think Ezra's right.
or as you realize, you witness this, right? You all are to the north, and you are able to make your way to the destination, into the fest hall, and await the arrival of Azrak, Lurkana, the Preta Kripa, the Skull Isle contingent.
Yeah, I make sure we're like up front.
Absolutely. You are given preferential choice. The only person that stands at the only individuals that stand at your side are captains, are commanders of the Legion. Right? Rolvik or fucking Gork or whatever the fuck his name is. Those are the individuals that there's one that's got like an orc, Gork, Mork name going on over here. I don't remember. I gotta zoom in. What's your name? Gek. Sorry, not Gork. Gek.
What's your name?
What's your name? Oh my god.
Tony V. Ezekiel.
Yeah. Azrak, with Lurkana, steps onto the dais next to the throne. And the fest hall is packed. Outside the fest hall is packed. He begins to speak. He says, before he says anything, he looks at you four.
3.
Or 3. And his eyebrows kind of raise. Noting that there's just 3 of you. His eyebrow he kind of raises and he looks questioningly at you.
I speak into his mind.
That's so useful, god damn it. Fucking Kalishtar, god damn.
And I say, it's done. Xanathar is dead. Ezra's just napping back in the room.
Wow, you're gonna take my moment? You're gonna take my moment telling him the Xanathar's dead?
I told him. You can tell the group. You can tell the room.
No, it's fine.
You know what? Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm gonna say it out loud now.
God, wow. I mean, all right.
Look, if you're gonna be a baby about it, yeah, now I'm
it's
gonna do
fine.
it out
Selfish
loud.
thing is just an act. It's fine. I get it now.
Oh my god. I'm assuming we can default to that was as originally intended in the mind.
I
You're
don't
in
really
baby
care.
mode. You're gonna get treated like a baby.
I said okay. Never mind. I am a baby about it.
Zach, we just messed him. You know we just messed him. So, upon this acknowledgement, right? There's almost a visible relief that goes out from the Xanathar. Or the Xanathar. He was the Xanathar from Azrock,
The
right?
entire time.
And he inclines his head and he looks up at Lurkana. And there is this moment of exchange between them that is, it's not like lovey-dovey, but it is pure admiration and respect, like a confirmation of these two and their life together. And Azrock unshoulders Lurkana. Lurkana releases him. And he stands there on his own 2 feet. He begins to speak to those gathered. And many have fallen on this day. But because of their sacrifice, many more will stand days to come. On this day, Xanathar was dealt dire blow. We have more legionnaires in the field. More news to report. But we claim victory this day in the name of the Legion. And there is an uproar, right? A swell, a build, a cheer that goes up from the gathered members. And as it dies, Azrock looks about and he says, "Do not be disheartened. We return with but few, because the fortification of Skull Isle is so large we needed to leave behind a huge garrison." And again, cheers swell up, massive cries of victory. To the point to where Azrock has to like begin to calm people, and it has to spread for a while before he can speak again. He says, "With the aid of our allies, we took the Legion by such surprise that there was slaughter in their midst."
The guild. We took the guild.
Sorry, the guild by such surprise.
Okay,
My bad.
I'm fully convinced that the Xanathar
This is actually the
Azrock.
Xanathar in disguise.
Right?
Leave me alone. It says, "Sundeth and her cronies were no match for what we had arrayed against them. If not for the sheer mass, the size of the fortification, and the eradication with which we had to deal, we would have returned hours ago, triumphant." There's something somewhat that rings hollow about that statement. Azrock, he steps forward on the dais and he says, "Great victories, one and all, even our sacrifices. Great victories in truth, buying time, depleting the enemy's number. Heroes to be remembered." And then he turns to you all. Says, "But none so more this day than those that stand before us, allies to the Legion no more, pure, true blood. And he slaps his chest with a bit. And a half step after, there is this resounding as throughout the 1,500 square feet of the Stromkolder ruins, there is a wave as legionnaires pound their chests, and the ones behind them pound their chest, and the ones behind them pound their chest. Ezra, you are startled out of your rest as this wave of just pounding just ripples past the building that you are in.
The pounding.
The pounding.
Did we just get my friends you bow to no one?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I don't know what that means. I don't get that reference.
Really?
Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Oh, I thought you dialed a no one. Is what I heard.
That's what it said.
That's why I said I didn't get the reference.
Dial a no one.
I didn't understand. It makes sense now.
And there is a pause. No sound follows as the echo begins to fade. Azrock lines his head, and for the first time that you have seen to anyone other than Lurkana, he steps slightly back, hobbles slightly back, truthfully. Motion for him, he defers to Bones, inviting you to step forward onto the dais and to face the Legion. Give your words.
Oh shit.
Oh. Words,
Speech.
okay.
Speech.
Treating
Speech.
you
Speech.
not
Speech.
as an ally
This could only go well.
of the Legion, and in truth, not as any respected member of the Legion that you have seen other than Lurkana.
Okay. I get up. I get up there, turn around.
You see faces that you have
Yep.
seen throughout the crowd, that you've already seen throughout the day, right? Faces that look upon yours and don't just know of you, they recognize you. They recognize you from having met you before as you came through the eastern Stromkolder ruins on trips past, met you before as you came through the southern checkpoint, the first time you ever came into the Legion's territory, met you today as you toured Azrock's hold. A multitude of faces that know yours, that feel like they know you.
Okay. I say, today, we came together, and we, as a legion, fought and killed and took many skulls. And I say, some people died, and I pull out an eye stalk. And some people didn't make it back, and I pull out an eye stalk. But we did. Because we're the Legion. And I pull out the other eye stalk and I drop it. That's all. I don't say that's all. I just kind of let the moment. I just kind of let the moment hang.
You eye stock drop.
You
Yeah,
eye stock drop 3 times.
Stock drop.
There's a hush, right? There's your deliverance, right? The gathering is not. It's not completely quiet, right? Like there are messengers amongst the gathering, right? There are whisperers that whisper back what's happening, and those get to the next group that whisper back what's happening, whisper back what's happening, whisper back. So there's this hush, just kind of like throughout the entire time that you're speaking, right? Delivering your words back to those that cannot hear them. And then there's a moment after your last words. Ash.
My last eye stalk drop.
Your last eye sock drop. No one says anything. You can hear that whispering. You can hear the breathing, just the ambience of dozens of people in this building, right?
Yeah.
And Ezrah steps forward next to you. How tall are you? You're a tall, lanky cat boy, right?
Tall as fuck. Yeah, I'm like 6'5".
Right, like, so he looks slightly up to you.
You react that way every time.
Every
Mitch.
time.
Every
Every
time.
time.
That exact way.
Ridiculous.
So he looks
Fucking ridiculous.
he looks slightly up at you.
I'm not tall in real life. I want to be tall in the game.
Absolutely, right? Like, it's the
Fuck
fantasy.
off.
He looks slightly up at you.
It's going to be a dwarf.
And he grabs, he reaches down to your hand.
Damn.
He grabs it, right, in this gauntleted, mailed fist, right? Grabs it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, like, raise it up, like, high or anything like that. He just, like, brings it up chest high, like this, right? Bound together. And he looks at you, nods, and he looks back out of the crowd, and he says, "Today, the Xanathar is defeated!" And the crowd erupts.
Yeah, we did that.
And it erupts in wild jubilation. A strange display for the Legion overall. A break in their normal extreme discipline, in their huzzah, in their structured forms. There is... You all don't get to see this, but we, like, pan out, taking in the overall scope of the Western Stromkolder ruins. And there are hobgoblins dancing, spinning in circles, hand in hand with goblins and bugbears. There is drink and food being thrown into the air. There are jubilant celebrations happening. A sudden break in wild chaos spreading through Azrok's hold as, for a brief moment, a single night of victory, the Legion, in its normal, structured discipline, finds jubilant celebration. And you all are a focal center of it. Ezrah, you are bombarded throughout this period. If you wish your mostest to resist, you can resist and just continue your long rest. But otherwise, you are bombarded by people begging you to come out. I'm assuming eventually Ashes and Bones and Matashtai make their way back to you saying, "Hey, buddy, there's a celebration. Maybe you want to, like, come out." So that is up to you.
I would eventually come out. It wouldn't be a hard play, but...
It is celebration throughout the Legion's territory.
Ezra is not
as
one to be the center of attention, so
the rest of the evening and early into the morning, the stores of the Legion are opened up. Food and beer, mostly ale and beer, are spread about. And what happens primarily, the biggest thing is throughout the city, the Legion commanders or the survivors of the assaults on the various locations. There are a half a dozen different places throughout the city that these people all go to, and they tell their story. They tell the story of those that fought with them. They tell the story of those that died. They tell the story of those that lived. And there is a copious amount of drinking, and a copious amount of feasting, and a copious amount of cheering and crying, and a huge break in the structure of the Legion. And you all are an intense focal point. Almost to the point to where, like, the only way that you can escape is by literally escaping, like running away from the Legion territory. You are pestered and begged and drugged to these locations to proffer your story,
drugged.
to tell the tale of defeating the Xanathar, of being the righteous hand, the vindication of the Legion.
Ezra is uncomfortable the entire fucking time.
Dude, I'm in,
Is
bro.
anybody gonna tell the Legion we did all this because we just don't like the Xanathar?
Nope.
I mean, it was twofold. One, because the Xanathar hates us, and two, because common threat.
Yeah.
I did it for my boys in red. Get out of here.
It is a
Definitely 'cause I
celebration,
didn't wanna kill us beholder or
and
anything.
a mourning that lasts until the morning of the 11th. And you all have gained no rest.
I tried.
You tried.
So tired.
That's why I used all
So
my hit
you'll
dice.
basically end up having to use a portion of this day to long rest, but we'll get to that when we need to. But you stand victorious over the Xanathar, having defeated the Xanathar, not just his lieutenants, but the Xanathar. And the Legion, after hearing their stories, after hearing Azrak's stories, and Lurkana's stories, and the Pretakripa's stories, you
Yeah,
come
Pretty
to
Creep getting in there?
realize
All right.
that if it was not for the multitude of magical items and devices and spells that you instilled the Force attacking Skull Isle with, there is every chance that they might have failed. But because you lended them so many things and basically turned them into water-breathing marine assassin crazies with magical boons and alarm-stopping speed and bullshit retreat tactics with a fucking smoking bullshit bottle.
Y'all did do that.
If it weren't for all of that, it might have been an entirely different matter. Lurkana might have not made it back. But more realistically, with your understanding, with your intuition, Azrak might not have made it back. And if Ezrah had not made it back, what the Legion is and what the Legion will become in the future might have been a very different thing.
You know, we just lost our chance to convert all of the Legion in its entirety
Into Skull Takers.
that was Bone's chance to acquire power.
So,
I already got power. I just got power right there. Got power.
for your defeat of the Xanathar,
Level 12.
for your
Oh, you
your
sweet summer
defeat
child.
of many of the Xanathar's forces, for escaping from the Xanathar's lair alive, for your participation in the many victories of the Legion, for your boosting of the morale of the Legion, for being not only allies of the Legion, but staunch supporters and now fierce members, one and all, of the Legion. You all gain 2,500 experience.
Ooh.
On the morning of the 11th, Ezrah, in big ceremony, presents to you all
The key to the Legion.
a key to the
Now
Legion.
own Legion.
No, not a key to the Legion.
We
There,
are.
there is,
Call it the
there
key,
is no
Jin.
such thing. He presents to you property, an estate within the Legion's territory. He gives unto you, and keep in mind, he is happy that this is happening. He
Rolvuk's
gives
house.
unto you Rolvuk's quarters, complete with the gate inside to
That's so
utilize
funny.
to do as you see fit. And Rolvuk, no longer in charge of dealing with that damn gate, happily retires to the captain's quarters instead.
That's so funny, dude. Gives us Rolvuk's house.
Gives you Rolvuk's house.
Take
He
this bitch's
also
house.
gives to you 10 fist-sized gems. Now knowing and understanding better about what that gate is and what its potential uses are, each of these gems are yours as a party to do with what you please. However, they are each 100 GP gems that would be serviceable in utilizing this gate. So
Yep,
should
that's
you so choose.
10 trips, bro. 10 trips.
That's awesome.
After this is bequeathed unto you, after the ceremony, in which many different members of the Legion are recognized, promotions are given, etc. After all of that, there is a more private ceremony, a more private conversation, in which Ezrah brings you and the Preta Kripa into conversation. The Preta Kripa informs you that she can guard you against the shadow upon
Hell yeah.
this floor, much like with Willow, only from this location. However, the Preta Kripa is not quite as powerful as the Archdruid Willow. Her capabilities come with some downsides. In order to
Oh.
perform this ritual blessing of you, there must needs be a blood sacrifice from each of you.
We kill a drow.
We kill a
Basically,
goblin.
No, not a killing. It must be from
10% of
each
your
of
health.
you. You can't put it on anyone else. It is a 2d10 blood sacrifice from each of you to receive the blessing for this location. So it's not a
That's just
super
how
easy
fun.
peasy,
That's
but
pretty
it
interesting.
is something that to
Double
keep in
ones
mind,
every
an
time.
option.
Bro, I'm so used to hurting myself for
I'm
shit.
so used to hurting myself.
Well, this ain't nothing.
Right?
This is just another Tuesday.
For Ezra's health every time.
So, at the end of all of this, you all, and again, I feel I'm gonna prompt you guys again. I'm tired of saying you all. I really would love to have a team name, you know,
Totsugeki.
Totsugeki.
No.
At the end of all of this,
Helltakers.
Totsugeki is heralded not as agents of the Legion, but as the Legion. And some of you begin to realize, again, as you overhear discussions, as plans are being made, as reinforcements are sent to Skull Isle, and then sent, you realize now, to Skull Port to patrol the city, to take command, to expand the Legion's territory.
Hell yeah.
That's
You
good.
realize
Semper Fi.
that you have thrown in your lot with this particular group to a pretty extreme point.
Well,
And you have just defeated one of the major players in the city of Waterdeep.
Dude, our inn is for sure getting bombed.
Oh yeah, we've just the comeuppance is happening.
So, I think now is a good a time as any to go ahead and end this session of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I hope you guys enjoyed the Xanathar arc that we just had.
Yeah.
That ended up being
3
way too sketchy on my nerves.
Not 3 months.
No, it wasn't. It was like a month with breaks.
So,
Yeah.
thanks for watching. That is going to be the end of tonight's session. We will see you next time for more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Bye-bye, everybody.
bye guys.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.